Hey everyone, and welcome to a unit review of Astram. He's the new Grand Hero Battle unit following the Chosen One's banner, and man, Astram is powerful. He was alright in his old games, but in Heroes, he's really good, and he's free too. This review will go over his stats, competition, skill synergy, skill fodder, allies, counters, builds, and answer should you invest your holy grails. Let's begin.
Heads will roll.
Astram Medias? I think it's Medias. Medias' hero enters the battle as a sword infantry unit. Kind of a saturated class, but his stats and skills allow him to stand out. 44 HP is pretty good, he can take good hits. His res at 21 is pretty bad though, but with 44 HP he could take 1 or 2 magical hits. But what makes him really stand out is his 3 other stats. He has 35 attack with a 19 might sword, 36 speed, and 36 defense. That's amazing. He's got great attack power, amazing doubling potential, and can take hits with 36 defense and that 44 HP. But the best way to show how good Astram is with a comparison. A comparison with one of the best sword infantry units, Brave Alm, who recently came out. Both have 19 might swords and their stats have slight differences. Alm has more attack and his skills work around that damage output. Astram is a bit more balanced, which fits well with the sword because it gives him all stat buffs. But it's pretty cool that a free unit has the power to match a Choose Your Legends hero. And if you gave them the same build, I would still say Alm is better because of IVs, but if you weren't able to get an Alm, then Astram can be a good substitute. Now for skill synergy, it's kinda weird. Wind Boost, his A skill, works best when he's at high HP and not damage, so he gets the plus 6 speed boost often. His B skill, Wrath, demands Astram to be under 75% HP so he can get the special cooldown and the plus 10 pure damage bonus. Wrath is the better skill to aim for, so it's better to work towards Astram getting damage, and hey, 75% of 44 is 33, and as long as the foe has 30 HP or less, then Astram will get the Wind Boost bonus. If you don't want that Wind Boost skill but still want the speed bonus, well, his sword can cover that. Astram wields the Mercury, one of the 3 regalia, and a really cool sword found in 3 houses. Not only does it give plus 3 attack, making it a 19 might sword, it has a spectrum wave effect, similar to Helbindi's axe. Except Helbindi focuses on odd numbered turns, while I'm just gonna say Mercury from now on. Mercury cares about Astram's HP being above 50%. And as long as he's above 50% HP, then Astram and allies within 2 spaces, who are sword, lance, axe, bow, dagger, and beast units, will get plus 4 to all their stats. It may not be plus 6 like Wind Boost, but plus 4 is better than nothing. And Astram benefits a lot from having all of his stats buffed since he excels at so many stats. More attack for damage, more speed for doubles, and more defense to take hits and increase bonfire damage. And the only problem is the HP condition. Mercury wants him to be above 50% HP, while Wrath wants him to be below 75% HP. There's not a big window between that, but it's bigger than most units because Astram has pretty good HP. 50% of his HP is 22 and 75% is 33. You want to keep him within that 22-33 range to get the strongest hero, but leaving him in that range can get him killed. Using healers is risky since most healers would get him up to full HP or just enough to kick him out of Wrath range. There's also healing specials. Ether is good for him somewhat. Ether heals based on how much damage he dealt, and with its high attack and the foe's defense being halved, he might heal too much and be kicked out of Wrath range. There's also Renewal Seal, but same thing as before, it can kick him out of Wrath range, or heal him enough to get back into the good 22-33 range. Also, Wind Boost is available at 4 stars and Wrath is at 5 stars. I didn't talk about it before, but free Wrath is really good. It helps reduce the special cooldown and has the plus 10 pure damage. A lot of units have skills that work well with it, or they really need that damage boost when using their special. A really good user of that is Lyn. Her Soul Caddy has Brash Assault and Desperation, so her B skill is open for Wrath. And their HP conditions are relatively close too. For allies, characters that benefit from having all their stats being buffed are good. Brave Micaiah counters the blue magic units who would try to take Astram down. Picnic Felicia is good for taking on blue dragons, healers are good for Mercury and wind boost, and while Astram is strong and can take on blue armor units, it's best to let someone specialized for that to do it. For counters, Reinhardt is like the most obvious. Astram has low res and is a red unit. Blue armor units can contest Astram easily, panic units can mess up his Mercury buff, healers can kick him out of Wrath range, and the more buffs he gains and gives away, the more damage leg ult and anyone with the cleaner gets to do. First build, Fatal Fury. It's a simple budget build with Fury and Brazen attack defense. The main problem is that Fury could kick him out of Mercury range, but you could also run some Ether. The main synergy is that Fury helps him get into Wrath and Brazen range. With Mercury and Brazen, Astram reaches 68 attack and 50 defense. You could use Brazen attack speed instead for 50 speed. Second build, Slayer's Strength. This set focuses around his wind boost skill. Mercury is a good sword but doesn't give an HP bonus like refined weapons do, and that's important for getting the boost bonus. Renewal is for bringing his HP back up so he'll have more chances to get the boost. You can mix and match with boost skills, but I'd say more attack and speed is good. Third build, Distance. This set is that really common sword infantry set with slaying and distant counter. You can change around the C and seal skill to focus more on a different stat, but having some protection against magic units is nice. Also, slaying drops bonfire to 2 cooldown, and when he's in Wrath range, the cooldown will go down to 1, and once he takes 1 hit, Astram can proc bonfire right away. Fourth build, Total Support. This set focuses more on Astram's support ability and staying alive. Mercury has a wide range and his conditions are pretty easy, the only hard part is staying alive, so that's why close defense is there. And the +6 defense helps increase bonfire damage. Chill attack also helps him survive longer, and if his ally has heavy blade, then that helps them as well. Fifth build, Corner Beast. This set focuses on the HP condition of Wrath and Brazen. You can mix and match with the Brazens, but the whole point is that once Astram gets damage enough, he becomes super powerful. Brazen attack defense is good for bonfire damage, and Brazen attack speed is for doubles. With double Brazens, it's going to be pretty easy for Astram to avoid the heavy blade from the foe. Sixth build, Bonus Hero. This set focuses on using those bonuses from Mercury to his full power using Bonus Doubler. As long as Astram is in Mercury's range, he'll get +4 visible bonus to his stats, and with Bonus Doubler, that's +8 to all of his stats. Meaning, at base, he'll have 62 attack, 44 speed, 44 defense, and 29 res. Those stats are very impressive, especially since he can get 22 bonfire damage from that 44 defense. If you built Astram differently, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. So, should you invest your holy grails into Astram? On the yes side, he's got powerful stats, his VSD is pretty high, and he can somewhat match Brave Alm. His Mercury sword is great for offense and support, and the best part is that he's free and has Wrath. On the no side, he's in a very saturated class, and if you have a +1 Brave Alm, then Alm completely outclasses Astram. He's weak to blue mages and wind boost isn't that good, Wrath is very good, but there's a lot of competition for the B slot, like Special Spiral, Breaker, Vantage, Quick Repost, etc. Really, you have to choose which fits the build you're going for. The panic status is very harmful to Astram and Mercury, and maybe you haven't played his games, which is understandable. Shadow Dragon was localized to the west, but New Mystery the Emblem has not been. From a personal standpoint, I would say yes for Wrath fodder. If you were able to get a good Brave Alm, then Astram can just be fodder. If not, then he can be a decent replacement. If you like that support sword of his, then investing into Astram is probably good for you. But in general, I feel like there's enough good sword infantry units to where his BST and stats don't render them all useless. Thanks for watching. I know, this is late. I've been more busy than preferred, but I really wanted to review Astram because I really like the stats. The Dragalia Lost anniversary is coming up soon, and if they do a summoning thing, then I'd like to do a video on it. I've saved about 10,000 Wormite or so. I'm really bad at saving orbs, so that's why there's no hero summoning. Anyway, subscribe and leave a like. Follow me on Twitter at exo_ty for things. With all that, stay hydrated folks, and go save the world.